Hi, good evening. My name's Jason Debly. Tonight's whiskey review is a continuation from last week's video that I posted. I organized a whiskey tasting last weekend and we featured three whiskeys. Few, Rye Whiskey, an American whiskey from a small startup distillery. They're about 10 years old and is truly small batch. The second whiskey that I featured was Crown Royal from their Noble collection, aged in French oak. And then finally, Talisker. So I thought tonight we would review the Few whiskey, which it comes in at 46.5% alcohol by volume. I kind of like the bottle. I think it's kind of handsome. It's kind of old school, retro-ish. I don't know, kind of 50s. Early 60s to my mind, and 750 milliliter format, corked. No, it's not a cork stopper, it's actually like silicone, but that's okay. In the US this is not cheap, it's about $50, and in Canada it's about $80. It's truly small batch, as I told you before, and the mash bill is 70% rye, 20% corn, 10% malted barley. So rye is going to dominate in flavor, judging by that mash bill. It's distilled in Evanston, Illinois, just outside Chicago. Few takes its name as the initials of Frances E. Willard, who was a lady who was the president of a temperance society in the late 1800s before her untimely death I think in 1898. So they kind of stick it to her, or kind of having some fun with someone who's left this earth. The nose is rich, it's rye. No surprise there, it's kind of floral. It's not offensive, well balanced. Really enjoy nosing this. The aromas are good. On the palate, it's smooth, rounded, but it's got a real rye bread spice, kind of crunch bite to it, but not a bite in a high alcohol biting way. I haven't even added water to this. Like I said, it's 46.5% alcohol, and it's a testament to the blending, to the distilling, and the quality of the wood, and the quality of the mash bill, or the grains used, because it's not unbalanced, it's not lively, bitter. It's really impressive. It's dry on the finish, leaving you with some ginger, copper. It's really a delight. The only thing not delightful is that it's about $50 a bottle in the US. And yes, you can probably find something cheaper. It's reminiscent of George Dickel. I think has rye that I like quite a bit. George Dickel's quite a bit cheaper. It's not complex. You don't have complexity. It's a pretty straightforward, simple rye flavor profile. You got a bit of caramel in there, some orange rind. Not a lot else, but it's delightful. Maybe a bit of grapefruit pith on the finish. So I recommend Few Rye Whiskey. I think it's nice, it's delightful. At the party, it was quite popular. Speaking of the party, or the little whiskey tasting I had, there were two other whiskeys. Crown Royal was there, and the Crown Royal followed the Few whiskey. We started with this rye, then we moved to Crown Royal. And everybody, I think, weren't as impressed with the Crown Royal, and I don't think it's Crown Royal's fault. I think Crown Royal is a softer, more kind of perfumed, elegant whiskey, and it was after sampling this, even though we took a break with water and French bread, and then tried this, our palate was kind of overwhelmed by the robust rye notes of this. So we couldn't appreciate this. This is a good whiskey too, but this was the consensus between the two of the people there was the Few whiskey was better. Then there was Talisker for the final flight of the night, and it was popular. That's all the Talisker I got left from a tasting for about 8 guys, 8 gentlemen, and Talisker was very popular and needs no introduction. So next week I'm going to review the Crown Royal Noble Collection in French oak. Yeah, French oak cask finished. Should be interesting. Cheers. Thanks for tuning in.